All right, crew, welcome to the 10th part of the Pirate Monkey Basics series. Today we are going to be talking about edge highlight. So this was a user-requested basics tutorial, and it is a different enough technique that I really did want to cover in depth. So what is edge highlighting? It is exactly what it sounds like. It is when we are taking a paintbrush and we are really just placing the paint very, very carefully on the edge of the miniature. And why is placing paint on the edge of a miniature important? So the first and main one that I like to talk about is that it helps whoever's looking at our miniature understand that this is a hard edge. This is actually a technique that could be referred to as a rendering technique potentially. Because it's helping us know what kind of surface the material is. It's fantastic because we can use it in a variety of instances. Specifically, metals, stone or rock, hard armor plates, anything like that is where this technique is used. And personally, I do find this to be an extremely valuable technique. Some of the cons of this technique are the criticism that it is overused. And because companies like Games Workshop have the tendency to edge highlight every single surface regardless, it almost has become a technique that is a little bit cliche. But with that being said, I do still feel like there is a lot of value in this technique. I find that a lot of beginners have trouble with this technique, and it's mainly an issue of brush control. So I can't really show you that talking in front of the camera, so we are going to go ahead and go over to the table, and I'm going to show you some ways to practice and master this technique. So let's go ahead and hop on over to the table, and we will jump right into it. So welcome to the table, Pirate Crew. Right now we are going to be focusing on edge highlighting. So I wanted to break this technique down so that you can see it just up close and personal, and essentially a couple of good ways that you can practice or test the technique before you actually go to the miniature. Now, over here on the side, I have some lighter paint mixed up. And as you can see, it's kind of a little bit of a medium layer consistency. I would recommend you use kind of a layer consistency. It doesn't really matter which one in particular. And what you want to do, I just want to show you this in profile. You want the brush to be kind of going sideways across this edge, right? And even if I do it like this, holding the brush in an awkward way, we are going to catch that edge. So something though that I feel is very, very important, and I'm going to show you this with a model as well, is that you need to make sure that you are turning the model for the brush. The brush needs to stay in the same position, or at least a somewhat comfortable position. And if you are having a hard time with this technique, just practicing on a base, again, is a really, really great way to do this. Just going all the way around over and over and over again as you do this. So something else that I personally will do when I want to practice this technique is I will actually practice it on my thumbnail, right? So if I just wanting to catch the edge of my thumbnail, I can see that that's all that I'm doing. And of course right there, I had a little oopsie. I didn't do it perfectly, but that's why we practice. That's why we practice on something that isn't quite as important. So that when we go to the model, we're actually doing it with more accuracy and with a better intention. The most important thing that you can do for this technique is to practice. So with that being said, let's go ahead and grab a model, and I want to show you in a little bit more of a realistic, real-life way. So here we have a model with, let's say, this backpack. Now I'm going to just use the same blue color just so that you can kind of see exactly what I'm using. But what you need to do is you need to make sure that the angle of your brush is, again, the same to the model. And again, the way that this looks from this angle is kind of like this, right? What we're going to do is we are just going to very, very quickly glide the brush over the model, just impacting that edge. Now, what you can do though is you can impact multiple edges from the same angle. And you'll even see me rotating the model upside down, kind of like this, just so that I can hit these parts of the backpack without having to change the way that my brush hand is oriented. Now, there will be some areas that will be kind of hard to hit, all right? It's like somewhere in here. Now, sometimes you will have to ride that line of edge highlighting and drawing a straight line. It always comes back to making sure that we are moving the model for our brush hand and not the other way around. If the model presents a situation where this does not work, essentially you just need to make the best out of it. If you need to move your brush hand a little bit more, then go ahead and do it. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying to never move this brush hand. What I am saying to do though is that creating some kind of consistency with this action is one of the most important things that you can do. So with that being said, I really hope that this video has helped explain and break down edge highlighting in a little bit more detail for you guys. If you have any questions at all, of course, I want to hear them. And please show me your examples of edge highlighting. I love to see you guys' successes. And as always, if you guys have enjoyed this video and you would like to support Pirate Monkey Painting a little bit more, head on over to patreon.com/Pirate Monkey Painting. You can support me for as little as $1. If you support with $5 or more, it gets you access to a video tutorial archive with over 35 hours of tutorial content. $15 a month gets you access to weekly Photoshop feedback. Again, thank you guys so much for your support and just for watching these videos. If you guys have any more comments or questions, leave them in the comments for me. And as always, happy painting. Bye.